guys, it's NautoAce. And this time I want to give my thoughts on the latest Pokemon Direct. So it's kind of surprised that they actually showed something that I wouldn't think they were actually going to do. So what is the Pokemon Direct all about? Well, from the chairman of Pokemon Company, he showcased two things. First of all, Pokemon Dungeon Rescue DX. So for people who don't know what that is, it's like a dungeon RPG. And this version was basically a re-release of the 2006 version from the DS/GBA. There was two versions of this, the blue team and red team. Blue team was in the DS, red team was in the Game Boy Advance. And the reason is just to have option for people who has only a DS or a Game Boy Advance. But if you have both of them and you have a DS Fat or a DS Lite that has a GBA slot, you can actually integrate it. But for this one, since both games are going to be in one Switch cartridge, I'm going to assume there's going to be something new feature here with that one. So yeah, it's a 3D version of that game. I have it, played it, not really that fun. I'm not really a fan of those type of dungeon RPG when you have to really think how to move, how to attack. There's a lot of games like that, but yeah, that's what it is. But the biggest one here that I'm shocked is Pokemon Sword and Shield actually will have an expansion pass, aka paid DLC. On my last video about this topic, I did say one of the solutions that Game Freak should do to at least try to please most of the fans is to have some sort of expansion DLC, whether it's a free or it's a paid one, so you have a reason to actually add more Pokemon to the base game. And guess what? They actually did. So a lot of people who said that, my guess is that Game Freaks did listen. So, shocker, Game Freaks sort of listened to some of the fans saying that, hey, it would be nice to have some sort of expansion DLC to add more Pokemon in the game. And they did it by especially having called the Pokemon Sword and Pokemon Shield expansion pass. So what the pass is, first of all, they're adding more 200 plus Pokemon in the game. Not only that, the expansion pass also includes two region, part of the Galar region, or two area of the Galar region. It has its own story. The Isle of Armor and the Crown of Sundra. So yeah, there's going to be more to the Galar region now, introducing sort of new Pokemon, a lot of returning Pokemon, and introducing some new characters all as well. So I'm going to give my thoughts about that a bit later, but I also want to give my thoughts on is that they actually have an update, and I'm going to get there's going to be more update prior to the release of the expansion pass, that if you update as of February the 9th, there is going to be some teaser about the expansion pass, like some of the characters are going to make an appearance. And not only that, you get one free Pokemon you can catch. Yes, one free Pokemon there. I'm not going to say who it is. I don't want to spoil it for people who have not watched the Direct or tried it out. But yeah, you get one free Pokemon. You go to this certain area, you get to meet one of the characters that's going to be on the expansion pass, and you actually have a chance to get this Pokemon. My thoughts about the whole, first, the idea behind it. Good idea in my opinion. I know a lot of people also were not happy because, it's cut content to the main game. I mean, I'll give my thoughts about that. But the reason also why they did this is to prevent to do a third version. But before I continue, I also want to share this, that you do not need to buy the expansion pass if your main objective is to get those 200 plus Pokemon that's on the DLC. That is actually free via update. The catches, you gotta do trading for a person who actually has the pass. So yeah, that's a little bit tricky there. The update includes all the past Pokemon. It'll be compatible. The downside is if you want to catch them, then you have to get the expansion pass. And you might say, well, that's kind of poppy sucky. Well, you gotta keep that in mind. This has been happening since the original Game Boy Advance with Ruby and Sapphire and Fire Red and Leaf Green. Yes, I mean, yeah, Ruby and Sapphire for the Game Boy Advance actually have the national deck, but you can't get all the Pokemon. So what's the solution? You gotta buy the expansion, sort of, Fire Red, Leaf Green, which is a remake of Red and Green, to get those other Pokemon that's not in Ruby and Sapphire, and vice versa. How do you do it? Via trading. Same goes with Diamond Pearl. Guess what? You have to get Heart Gold, Soul Silver, same deal. And then in the case with Black and White, Black 2 and White 2, believe it or not, have more Pokemon. And then X and Y, you got Omega Ruby, Alpha Sapphire, and then Sun and Moon, Ultra Sun, and Ultra Moon. Yes, those are sort of an expansion, remake, or extended. I don't know what you call it, depends which game. But the bottom line is, if you want to get those Pokemon to complete your national deck, you got to do trading. So it's sort of the same situation with this game. If you want to get all of them, then you probably have to buy the expansion pass. You don't have to trade. But you say, I don't want it, I just want to catch the Pokemon, gotta catch most of them. Then, yeah, you just have to find someone who has the expansion pass and do some trading. I mean, that's all it is to it. Plus, don't forget, they also announced in the Nintendo Direct on February 2020, Pokemon Home. And my guess, that's probably going to be with Pokemon Home. If it's a little bit more, well, we'll see what's all about. Because again, there is more than BCI with Pokemon Home. But as of right now, no one knows. What it is it's sort of a hub. So you can put in all your Pokemon like a bank, a storage. And then you can transfer them to certain games, I think. Hopefully they'll talk more about it before it comes up, because they did say that. So, yeah, just want to add that in, that do you need expansion pass if you want to collect those 200 plus Pokemon that they're going to add into the game? No, that is free for a VIA update. Downside is, you just have to do trading. You can't get them, you have to do trading. That's it. So in the past, you've noticed ever since the original Pokemon, there have been what people call it a third version, or even a fourth version, or a extended version, let's just say that. So for Pokemon Red and Blue, or in Japan, Red and Green, there have been Yellow, which is based on the anime, and then they have a blue version, which is supposedly the improved version of Pokemon Red and Green in Japan. A tidbit on that one in America is that the Pokemon Blue and Red is actually based on the Japanese Pokemon Blue, a lot of just minor changes. So kind of interesting there, but yeah. So and then of course with Gold and Silver, you get Crystal, Ruby and Sapphire, you got Emerald, Diamond, Pearl, you got Platinum, and then Black and White. Instead of gray or whatever, they got Black 2 and White 2, supposedly a direct sequel to Black and White, but not so much. But I guess they're trying some different things. Again, a lot of people consider it an extended version. And then, of course, X and Y was the only game that didn't have a third version or an expanded version. And then some people were being salty about it, saying, oh, they should have Z. I mean, I kind of like jumped the bandwagon a bit, just, I don't know, for fun and giggle. I said, where's Pokemon Z? And people said, well, what do you want another version that's the same thing, we just added content? So it was a good move, at least in X and Y, they didn't do it. But then when it comes to Sun and Moon, Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon, it's not even a sequel, but an extended version that's supposedly an alternate version. And people are like, really? Again, I'm paying more money. I mean, granted, you don't have to buy it, but if you're an uber super Pokemon fan, yeah, you tend to buy it, but again, what can you do? So they probably said, hey, you know what, we can't do a third version of this because people are already complaining about how Sword and Shield doesn't have all the Pokemon. Because for a while in the past, Game Freak said that, well, we have no plans of doing expanded DLC, which is, again, I guess they went 180. They said the new Pokemon is going to be on the newer games that we're going to plan. So, and a lot of people, including myself, I know, had to call out Game Freak and so what are you gonna do? Ultra Sword, Ultra Shield, Sword 2, Sword 3, Shield 2, Shield 3, or let's go Diamond, let's go Pearl. I mean, the bottom line is like, so instead of improving the previous game or the actual game, Sword and Shield, you're just gonna put all the feature in the new game. It makes you look like, you just want to make money. I mean, granted they do, but yeah, so they probably said, you know what, they're gonna do an expansion pass, adding more content to the game already. But of course, some people see that, why can't you put it in the game itself? Again, it's one of those gray area of, does it will cost more if you actually just put it in the game? The reason they did an expansion pass, maybe they needed more money. I'll give my theory about that too as well. So, as expected, the Pokemon fan base are split. For me personally, I think it's a good idea. It's better than buying a third version. But there are some people who are not happy because, well, for a strange reason, this is a minority. They prefer to have a third version, for their collection so they can display it. Or they just like it, start over with the new features. But there are some that felt that, why bother doing expansion pass? Why not just put it in the main game? At least it makes it for complete. And again, that situation, it's an old school situation from time to time again, ever since DLC was debuted in the HD era. A lot of people always say, why can't you be in the game? Why is it be DLC? I mean, to some extent, it's a case-by-case basis. Could be cost, could be time, it could be... Well, there's a lot of things about it of why, should that particular part be in the game rather than DLC and vice versa. So that one, so that was people were split. For me, I think it's a good idea because at least you don't have to buy the third version, so you can continue progress your story from your previous game. Because the problem to some extent is that, say with Emerald, you gotta start over again, from scratch. So what about this Pokemon you captured from Ruby and Sapphire? Well, unless you trade them or you transfer them to Emerald, your progression, you gotta start over, trying to level grind a lot of those Pokemon again. And maybe it's fun when you're young and you have a lot of time. But when you're getting old and of course you got responsibility, that's what's it's getting hard. That's for me personally. I guess maybe I'm not very hardcore playing the Pokemon because I play them, I go far, but I still need to finish some of them. I have finished some of them, Fire Red and Black, believe it or not. And I have finished the spin-off, but that's a different story there. But yeah, for me personally, I think it's good. I know some might say, they don't like it. To a point that once again, they're attacking Game Freak, Pokemon Company, Creature, Omori, Matsuda, I mean, you name it there. And it's really kind of sad, but what can you do? It is the internet. People sometimes want to let their voice be heard. I mean, it is what it is. Believe me, I'm guilty of that also when push comes to shove, but there's a right time to do it and wrong time to do it, let's just say it. But again, to any Pokemon fan, you have the right to your opinion about it, whether it's a good thing or a bad thing. Like I said, for me personally, I think it's a good thing. Perhaps a situation of a Mighty Number 9, at least it's better than nothing. Because this is at least better rather than having a third version or an expansion version that you gotta start from scratch, recapturing a lot of Pokemon. And then, once I finish, I can do the extended storyline, which is they kind of did it before in, like I said, in the third version. No, you just straight out, you continue from your base game. That's really it. And they even added some new update already after the Pokemon Direct, like I said, such as you get a free Pokemon to capture, plus you see a preview of the latest new characters. You're gonna meet them briefly, sort of like a teaser there. So, I mean, I don't know what to say. I mean, to each of their own. Some people are happy, some are not. I mean, what can you do about it? So, yeah, those are my thoughts on the Pokemon Direct, the expansion pass announcement, Pokemon Dungeon DX. It is good. Some people like it. I have the original version. I played the demo. Yeah, it does play well. It's a dungeon game, so if you're a fan of that, go for it. I think you'll have fun with it. And then of course, the expansion pass is not even going to start until June of 2020, and then the second part is not even going to be starting until fall of 2020. Was it a good idea to announce it this early? Probably in this type of situation, probably not. Because finishing a Pokemon game depends of your situation. Could take long. Probably much better if they announce it in April. Maybe it makes more sense there. I'm just saying that. So with that, I'll see you guys later.